Welcome back to Game Design with VileHyperion, the show where someone who has never designed a game before analyses game design. Last episode we discussed Mario, and some of the steps Nintendo takes in order to make each entry fun to play above all else. And today's topic? More embarrassing feelings. Well, sit back while I explain why I believe the class variant system to be one of the best things to ever come out of these games. Alright, so Plants vs Zombies. I'm sure you're aware of the first game that stole the hearts of casual gamers worldwide. The game would go on to spawn a sequel. I mean, technically 2 sequels, but that one doesn't exist. This series would also break into third-person shooters, with the first 2 being what I would like to delve into. These games are an odd step for the series to take, switching genres and drastically at that, but at the core was still a definitively Plants vs Zombies experience. The style of cute and horror still clashed to provide, in my opinion, the best art style of the series, featuring plenty of darker colours in its palette to perfectly complement the lighter colours. This game also features satisfying and tight gunplay and controls, including a satisfying hit notification every time you land a hit, following up with an equally as satisfying notification for defeating an enemy, making killing something you can't stop doing. However, neither of these are what I wish to delve into. Instead, what I would like to look into is the character lineup, or how the characters are lined up. A series staple is including a vast number of characters that somehow all remain unique and possess a reason to play them. With Garden Warfare 2 possessing over 100 characters, it sounds like a lot of work to design and create all of them. However, this process was streamlined and birthed the class variant system, as I'll be calling it. This is how all the characters are laid out. It's effective and helpful in trying to organise a vast number of characters. While that is a positive, it's not why I'm bringing it up. The class variant system is a great way of encouraging replayability for one, which is something I've taken a broader look at in this video. It's also a great way of both allowing players to stick to their preferred playstyle, as well as allowing those same players to experiment with other playstyles all at the same time. But first, a little look at this system. In Garden Warfare 2, the characters are split between 14 classes, with an additional 2 I'm not counting because they don't matter when it comes to this topic. Within those 14 classes, 7 of them possess 10 variants, 5 of them possess 6 variants, and for some reason the Chomper has the most at 12 variants. Why? Variants are, as the name suggests, variations on the base class they're associated with. Changes include new primary weapons, stat changes, and unique gimmicks that don't fall under either. Common variants include Ice, Toxic Power, and Fire primary weapons, each having their own extra gimmick. Ice can freeze enemies in place after shooting them several times. Power has Chain Lightning that can spread to enemies near or next to the one you've shot at. And Fire and Toxic variants function similarly as they both do lingering damage. Only Fire does more damage, and Toxic variants have an aura that deals damage to enemies caught within it. Other common variants include Tank variants, 3-round burst variants, and manual detonation variants. Each class has a base variant, or regular variant as most refer to them as, that embody the overall playstyle and archetype of the class. And variants don't do anything to get in the way of that. Variants either slightly alter the experience or add to it, and it's this addition of playstyles that I would like to talk about first and foremost. So why then? Why am I bringing up this aspect of Garden Warfare 2? Well, for one, it's a unique way of creating a character roster that I haven't seen done anywhere else. It's a super successful way of driving replayability, even for those of a very specific playstyle. Your options are still pretty open. If you enjoy up-close brawler classes, then even though only one class exists, or even if you only preferred that one class, you still have a total of 6 ways of putting a spin on that gameplay style without you having to learn or get scripted an entirely new one, as all the experience from playing the regular variant carries over to these new characters. You have a Toxic variant that heavily rewards hyper-aggressive play, a Power variant that rewards taking on groups, and a Cosmic variant that heavily rewards taking on individual targets, who really isn't as bad as people say. All characters feed into the brawler playstyle umbrella, but offer up slight alterations in how that approach is handled to offer a unique way to play. You don't have to worry about learning curves or getting used to other playstyles if all you want is a new experience to mix it up. Secondly, particular variants incorporate other playstyles into them. For example, the previously mentioned tank variants. Some of these variants belong to classes that don't have anything relating to the tank playstyle, the best example being the Metal Pedal. This variant belongs to the Sunflower class, which is the healer class for the plants. So the archetype for this class is, well, healer. So those into that playstyle are already enjoying the various variants that play into being a healer. However, now we have a healer variant whose gimmick is being a tank. This allows players to comfortably ease into a different playstyle without leaving their preferred playstyle behind. If you so wish, you can still play Metal Pedal title is exclusively a healer. However, if you wanted to experiment with the tank playstyle, you can easily do so without abandoning your preferred one, which may lead you into enjoying the tank playstyle and pursuing it in other characters, perhaps leading you to play other classes, further feeding into the replayability of this game. And though this is more of a minor point as it's more down to the player wanting to change up their playstyle, though this setup makes it easier to do so, there are still some very committed Electro P mains. If nothing else, choosing other playstyles as the variation leads to some very unique characters that you don't really find elsewhere, like a sniper that's designed to be played aggressively, an assault variant designed to be played defensively, and a run and gun character that you play like a tank. Next is highlighting how amazing a system like this is for providing opportunities to generate intrinsic value, which basically means the thing in question is valuable to someone for its own sake. You're not rewarded for completing it, yet you still want to do it. The class variant system does this in a few ways, starting with how you get all the characters. This is accomplished with sticker packs you buy with coins earned by playing matches and completing missions. Characters are split into 5 parts, and completing a character is just a matter of collecting all the parts. There are 2 main types of pack, those that give you single pieces and ones that give you entire characters. The way this could possibly generate intrinsic value is through your want to unlock more variants for your favourite class. Another likely motivator is just getting all of the characters, regardless of whether you intend to play them all. The sticker book keeps track of how many pieces you have for each character. Alright, now enter a piece of information I have neglected to mention until now. Legendary characters. Characters that consist of 2 stickers instead of the 5 all the others consist of. However, these 2 pieces are extremely rare to unlock, but when you do unlock them, the game lets you know, with a shiny gold card and a little musical jingle. Plus, these guys are very overpowered. Unlocking these rare cards acts as another layer of motivation, whether standalone or something to add to the ever-growing list of things that will motivate you to keep playing. All of this is done off the back of a system that was designed with a slightly different purpose in mind, and that keeps you playing even without rewarding you with anything in-game. Similar to how a good combat system motivates you to play purely to get better at it. More info here. Garden Warfare motivates you to keep playing to get all the characters, to unlock those legendaries, and to provide those unique experiences through variations of your favourite class. I know from personal experience, watching that sticker book slowly fill up is a very satisfying experience. As well as this, watching your overall player level slowly tick up with every level you gain with characters is another satisfying experience, and may lead you to play more characters just so you can bump your rank up a bit. With the game introducing different coloured rank plates at each 1000 milestone. Though small, it could act as another motivator to keep players invested. All of these things feed into the replayability of the Garden Warfare games, but outside of that, this system does its best to offer as many options to the player as possible. While it might be the most obvious aspect, but having 100 characters is 100 different ways the player can approach this game. Even without the want or desire to get them all or change up your playstyle, having multiple slight variations on the class allows you to fine-tune your playstyle and find the exact way you wish to play, doing so in a way that makes it approachable.